right, we are back with heavyweight sensation and the future heavyweight champion of the world, Fast Eddie Chambers. We've got a couple more questions here from our listeners and from us. Um, I gotta ask you, give me a name. Who are we going to see you in there with next? Now I know all the guys at Goosen are going to take real good care of you. They're not going to use you up or anything. I mean that's one thing that Goosen Tudor is known for. Taking, and I don't mean taking care of their fighters like shielding them. I mean really nurturing them and making sure that they get the fights that they need. I mean you're in quite a stable. I mean you've got Areola in there with you. Yeah, you've got some great fighters over there and some great heavyweights. So give me a name. Who's a name that Eddie Chambers wants to fight next?
Really, anybody that has hardware around their way. I think I've proved that it's my time to leave you a shot. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna work hard for it. Of course, my team and everybody's gonna make sure that they take a look at the best possible fight for me in that respect. But at the same time, I'm really in need of a title shot right now. You know what I mean? I've been to the point where I fought for a spot close to a title. For a number one spot. Now I think I've earned at least close to a number one spot, and I think I deserve a title shot. I've had to go through a tournament where I fought two tough guys. You know what I mean? To try to get a shot and end up losing to the last guy, and I almost walk away with nothing. So I think this time I just at least get a chance to fight for a title and win it.
So who, if you got to choose tomorrow, you want Vlad, you want Vitali, or do you want Big Valuev?
Well, I want the best guy, because by being the best guy, I become the best guy. I have to be the best in order to be the best. And really, if I had a pick, honestly, I wouldn't care, because they're all they're going to be very tough fights. They're very big guys, big and strong and things like that. But I think I have the stuff to beat them. And if I had to choose them all, I would take the best guy out of the pack. And right now, that's Vladimir. And if that can happen, I would love for that to happen, because that would mean that I have a chance to really prove whether I am worthy of being called the best heavyweight in the world.
So you're not the one that's going to say, I want the easiest belt. You're the one that says, I want to fight the best fighter.
Right, because if you fight I want to get the best one out to win if I have to, you know what I mean? And for me, I would rather take on the best, because, like I said, if you beat them, then that means I'm gone as one of the best fighters of this small area here where I've been fighting. So why not, go after that? I mean, I want to take it all in the first big chunk if I can. You know what I mean? Then I can just move on. So that makes my job a little easier. I take out the toughest guy first, and then it's seamlessly, smooth sailing on the way back down. I mean, on the way down to the other guys. But I'm just going to make sure I'm prepared for whatever comes my way.
Well, as usual, I have to ask you about other fighters that are not Eddie Chambers. What are your thoughts on David Haye against Big Vlad Klitschko? I mean, he moves up from cruiser. Obviously very cut. He looks like a He-Man figure. Very outspoken, real brash, kind of rude. He's doing his little Photoshop photos of Vlad's severed head and things like that. He's just trying to get under his skin. I'm sure you'll agree with me there. What do you like David Haye's chances against Klitschko, or is he just flapping wind?
Well, I figure he seems to be a good puncher. I mean, he fought heavyweight. He fought Monty Barrett, who's legitimate heavyweight. You know what I mean? He's challenged for the title a couple times, I think, and he's a legitimate win. And he stopped him. So, but at the same time, in that fight, he got hurt. So you got to really be careful with putting him up against a guy like Wolf for himself, putting himself in that opportunity to get a shot at right at the Coach Rollins. But I do like that what he's done to position him. He had only one heavyweight fight. You know what I mean? And even though he fought a guy that was a pretty decent guy to fight, he already got himself in line to possibly the title out. He's doing a lot of good form in a way, because it's putting him in to get at the best guy in the division right now. You know what I mean? That people see. You know what I mean? So good and it's bad. It's a dangerous fight, because if he gets touched hard enough, he's going to go down.
Oh yeah. Very much so. Now this. Us here at Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, the radio show that everyone's listening to right now, the pinnacle of our year is to drive down 12 hours from Chicago here to mid-state New York, to a little town called Canastota, where the Boxing Hall of Fame is, and they're inducting former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world Lennox Lewis in June. It's like I said, the pinnacle of our year. We do a live broadcast from there. We hang out with all the fighters. What would it take to get Fast Eddie Chambers over to New York for Lennox Lewis's induction weekend?
Just to let me know that it's happening. Come up there, me and my team come on up there. And I don't think I've ever had an opportunity to be at one of the induction ceremony, anything like that. I would love to see how it looks because maybe one day in the future I'll be getting the same thing. Hopefully, you know what I mean. So, but I would definitely want to attend that if it's possible. I mean, so all you got to do is invite me.
Well, you are officially invited.
All right, I'm glad. All you gotta do is just keep in touch with me and let me know when this is going to take place. I mean, now I know when it's going to take place, but my guys can come on up there and see what's going on.
Well, what's really
I would definitely like the opportunity.
What's ridiculous about the weekend is you're standing there and all of a sudden, Emmanuel Stewart walks by and you're like, okay, hey Manny, how you doing? And then Marvelous Marvin Hagler walks by.
Yeah.
And then Roberto Duran walks by. And then the middleweight champion legend, Carmen Basilio walks by, who's like 99 and a half years old. I mean, it's downright ridiculous, the amount of people that walk on by, and they're just people walking around for the weekend. And everyone's chasing them for photos and autographs, and everyone's treated like a rock star, and it's a love fest is what it is for all things that are boxing. I think you'd love it. We were hanging out with Chaz Witherspoon. We were hanging out with Chaz Witherspoon last year there. The year before, Layman Brewster was down there with us. Shannon Briggs was down there. We need Eddie Chambers down there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you're not going to need him too much longer. The thing is, I've got an opportunity being in Philadelphia where there's so many champions that you'll just be walking to the gym, walk down the street, you know what I mean? But see, living legends like those guys really just, mixing it up, talking to everybody, just relaxing and enjoying their time up there. It's crazy. Like when I first met Lennox, I'm not the biggest starstruck guy. Oh my God, look at this, that kind of thing. But seeing Lennox Lewis, knowing what he's done over his career, maybe meeting a guy like Marvin Hagler or Carmen Basilio, the other fighters that's come before me. Like I would love to meet Ali. You know what I mean? I've never got an opportunity to meet Ali, and Rob knows him personally, but I've never got the opportunity to meet him. That's the kind of stuff. That's really what this thing is really all about. I mean, you want to get to the level of being a great champion like those guys are, and that's what I'm striving for. And I would definitely love to come in there and sit around those guys and just see how they live. That would be an exciting thing for me.
Second weekend in June. Mark it down.
Now, when you were growing up, who were some of your favorite guys that you like watching in the ring as you were growing up and actually growing in the sport?
Well, of course, the only thing I've seen of all these really tapes because I was born after he was a champion and everything. But I've watched tapes of Ali before. But as I was growing up, I liked watching Holyfield. His fights were really cool. Roy Jones as he was coming through, dominating and things. Another one of my real favorites was like Shane Mosley. Really loved to watch Shane Mosley. And then Lennox Lewis as well when he fought over his year over time. And Mike Tyson. And the list goes on. I mean, I've been watching boxing. My dad. Even before I started boxing, I was into it. So, I mean, there's just an extraordinary list of guys that I can come up. I could talk to people all day about them. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather. It's just there's so many guys that I've admired growing up because of the sport. You know what I mean? Because of me. And then when I got into the sport, it got even more so. You know what I mean? Because I really got a respect for what these guys really had to do in their careers. You know what I mean? The work they had to put in. You know what I mean? To become great fighters. And that's the kind of thing that I want to see and I want to be a part of. And that's why. If I can come up there to his induction ceremony, that's really something that's big for me. I really want to check it out.
Well, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Eddie Chambers is going to be at the Boxing Hall of Fame signing autographs right next to the Bolo Punch Boxing Hour booth. You heard it right here. He just promised us.
Absolutely. That's going to get me more notice, too. Maybe like I said, this will help my case. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Getting a title shot or something like that in the future. Why not?
Beautiful. All right, Eddie. Well, I think we've used up enough of your time tonight. You've been most gracious for taking the time out of your evening to call into Bolo Punch, and we thank you wholeheartedly. Awesome job against Sam Peter, and we can't wait to see who your next fight's going to be.
I'm just glad you guys had me on. I had a good time, and I'd just like to thank you guys for putting up with me for as long as you did.
No problem.